Welcome to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with intuitive lightworker, national speaker, metaphysical teacher, and best-selling author Lisa Kessler. What is it you want to manifest? Are you looking to increase your income, change careers? Maybe you want to manifest a new home or a new car. Are you ready to bring love into your life? You have come to the right place.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here today. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite things, divine timing. And I specifically want to talk about when divine timing becomes divine course correction, right? When things don't go exactly the way we thought that they were supposed to. Because sometimes we can, in hindsight, be thankful, right? All of us have had a time when something didn't work out that we thought we really wanted. Sometimes maybe it was a job and you really wanted that job and then it didn't come through. You ended up at a different job and then you heard on the news that company went bankrupt, the old one. And you go, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I didn't get that job, right? In hindsight, a lot of times we can see the divine timing. But when we're going through it, it can be frustrating. It really can, because sometimes life doesn't unfold according to our plan, right? If we're being honest, we love to manifest and everything goes quickly, smoothly, for our highest good, just the way we imagined, right? That is everyone's picture perfect manifestation. But the reality is usually it never goes like that. Life is a roller coaster. Really, how could we learn and grow if everything went the way we planned? There would be no surprises. There would be no chance for growth or learning something new. So when plans fall apart, when doors close, when your timeline shifts, that's where trust becomes so important, because trust is what keeps us moving forward, even though things didn't go quite the way we thought. So one of the biggest fears that people sometimes carry is that they're falling behind, or they've missed their moment, or maybe you made the wrong choice or took a wrong turn. But today, I just want to plant another seed for you that maybe you aren't off track at all, right? What if the big delay was protection? Like I mentioned in that other example, that maybe the company was going to go out of business and the universe was protecting you, right? Sometimes closed doors like that are just divine course correction, moving you in the right way. I will never forget, I had a publishing offer from this publishing company that had just been bought by Simon & Schuster. It was a digital arm, and I was so excited. They made an offer. They showed me mock covers for my books. I was so excited. And my agent at the time had a bad feeling, and she said she was not ready for me to sign with them. And I was so disappointed. I thought, no, this is my chance to be with Simon & Schuster. It's going to be great. And my friends, she pushed me to go in another direction. And even though Simon & Schuster bought that digital line, they closed it down. And all the authors who had signed were scrambling to get their rights back. And I thought, whew, oh my gosh, dodged a bullet, right? So I know that sometimes it can be tough when you're in it, but I promise divine course correction is always protecting you for your highest good. Funny caveat to that story, I am now published with Simon & Schuster with, well, it's a line of Simon & Schuster, but Beyond Words Publishing is distributed by Simon & Schuster. I am on their website with the Practical Tarot Method book and the Practical Tarot deck. So eventually I got there. So the universe is always unfolding for our highest good, protecting us. And sometimes those divine course corrections can be disappointing in the moment, but I promise you, everything is unfolding for your highest good, even if you can't see it today. So I guess here's something to think about, is that sometimes our disappointment is because we have to give up control. Like my publishing example, I had to trust my agent and give up my dream of Simon & Schuster just for that day, just for that day. And it did eventually happen, right? But not in the way I saw. I had to give up control. I had to surrender it to the universe. So manifestation is never about us controlling and micromanaging. It's about co-creating with the universe, which means we have to be flexible. Sometimes our intuition leads us somewhere completely unexpected because our higher self is trying to align us with something that maybe is more authentic, more sustainable, like that publisher, right? Or more aligned with who we really are, as opposed to what our ego intended. At that point in time, my ego really wanted to be Simon & Schuster, right? So keep that in mind, that sometimes that disappointment is because our ego is a little bit bruised. So think about times in your life where something was disappointing in the moment, but now when you look back at it, you see it as a turning point. For a lot of people, it's relationships, a divorce, a breakup. And when you were going through it, it was the worst. But now you look back on it and you go, oh my gosh, that was one of the strongest points in my life. I loved myself for standing up and saying no more, right? Sometimes it can be jobs you didn't get, publishers you didn't get, right? Or a plan that collapsed. Maybe it was going to be a big trip and it all fell through. But now you look back on it and you go, oh my gosh, I ended up getting pregnant and I would have been so sick. Thank goodness the trip fell through, right? Sometimes it can be your dreams changing shape. It can be that you decide to go in a different direction or go back to school or something. And in the moment, it may have felt scary or disappointing or painful. But when you look back on it, you see that it wasn't punishment. It was redirection. Divine timing often only makes sense when we look back on it. When we're going through it, it can be frustrating and disappointing. So what can you do? Use your intuition as your compass. Your intuition is always guiding you toward alignment, even when your logical brain can't quite explain that. Your intuition is always saying, wait a second, or look, here's an opportunity, or just rest. A lot of time for me, because I struggle with anxiety a lot, when I catch myself in that loop of plan A, plan B, plan C, oh my gosh, what if this falls through? I will sometimes catch myself in it and pull out my cards, and I almost always draw a card that is basically saying, get out of the way, go rest. And so when I do, everything unfolds just the way it was supposed to. It was exactly that I needed to get my energy and go mellow out because the universe had a great plan in the works. Sometimes your intuition is telling you to say yes. Have you ever had a day where you woke up and you thought, today I'm going to take some chances. I'm going to say yes. And then bizarre opportunities come to you that day. And you're like, well, I said I was going to say yes. And it takes you to the most amazing places. All of that, my friends, is your intuition. That is your intuition whispering. It's being your compass. It's guiding you. And the problem is we don't listen to it often enough, or we talk ourselves out of it. So when we allow intuition to guide us instead of us trying to force and trying to micromanage that manifesting, what happens is we start flowing with the universal energy around us instead of fighting against it. That is how we co-create. So think about it next time things don't go the way that you planned, that this course correction, it is not failure. It is not. It is changing direction. It doesn't mean that you failed in anything. So I'm saying to all my other Leos out there who are very stubborn, and all you Taurus too, who are very stubborn, when things fall through and don't go the way that you planned, making a course correction does not mean that you failed. Don't dig in your heels and keep trying to swim upstream. Delays do not mean that it's never going to happen. The timing is off. I've told the story before about the Kickstarter for Practical Tarot and how it didn't work the first time. We almost made it, but it didn't fund. And it wasn't that the deck was wrong. I actually used the exact same Kickstarter pitch that I did the first time. I asked for more money the second time, and we overfunded. And it wasn't because the project wasn't worthy. It was because the timing was off the first time. So just remember, if there are delays or, schedule shifts and you have to wait longer to see that dream, it is not because you're not worthy. It's just the timing. The timing was off. Pauses never mean that nothing is happening. A lot of times the pauses are happening because the universe is lining up an even bigger miracle that you wouldn't have even known to ask for. When life is recalibrating, it's often because a new chapter is about to open. Sometimes the dreams you want to manifest require more growth, or it requires healing. Sometimes physical healing, sometimes emotional, spiritual healing, but you need that preparation before the dream arrives so that you're ready. So you're ready when it walks through the door. And sometimes that, thing you thought you wanted, it was only meant to lead you to something even more aligned, right? Remember, we're always growing. You're never going to cross through a finish line tape and go, ta-da, now I'm never manifesting. So just because you thought this dream was going to be all end all of everything, it's totally normal that when you get there, you go, oh my gosh, that's where I'm going, right? So there is peace in divine timing once you wrap your brain around that the timing may not be what you had planned. So when life throws you a curve, just remember that life isn't unfolding on our timeline. It's unfolding for our highest good. So no giving up. Don't give up out there. That is the only way that you don't get your dream, is if you give up. You have to trust that what's meant for you will not pass you by. Trust that what's aligned with your energy, it will unfold when you are in the flow, not when you force it. And anything that leaves, a job, a relationship, it is always creating space for a bigger miracle. Every time I do a reading for somebody who loses a job, almost always those cards come up that there is something miraculous coming, and they would have missed it had they still been in that job because they wouldn't have been looking. So losing a job always creates space for something amazing to walk in. And so just remember that divine timing does not mean that nothing's happening. Sometimes it takes a long time for the universe to get all the right people together. It's been so exciting in our Wednesday night mastermind group. One of the women in the group wrote an amazing blockbuster book years ago. And for a year, we've been sending energy for this movie deal. And she finally got it and got to announce it. And it was something that took so long. But, it happened at the perfect moment. And the thing is, she never gave up. And she never tried to force anything. We just kept imagining her on the red carpet. We kept seeing the right people get this movie going, buy the movie rights, all of those things. But we left all of that open so that the universe could bring the best option. So if you are listening now and you're feeling like things are uncertain, just remember that everything that fell through or that's falling through right now while you're listening, your guides and angels, they work algorithms. Oh my gosh. So you may be going through something like this right now. And that's why this podcast came up in your feed. But remember, if you're going through it right now, things are feeling uncertain or your plans just all fell through. Remember, it is not punishment. It's preparation for this amazing future that's coming, or it's protection, keeping you safe from making a, misstep. And sometimes it's course correcting you to lead you to something that is much more aligned that you didn't even think to ask for. So just soften into the possibility that maybe divine timing is always working in your favor. Always. Am I saying don't be disappointed when things fall through? No. I totally get disappointed when they don't go the way that I was hoping. But I pick myself up faster and faster because I remember that must mean something better is coming. And I'm getting better at it. I still think that you are okay to have 24 hours of righteous indignation going, come on, universe, how come things aren't working out? But once that's done, you can pick yourself up and go, oh my gosh, something even better is coming. Wow. Just remember, you are not behind. You are not failing. You are worthy, and you are never lost. It's all about trust. Divine timing is never about perfection. And sometimes the manifestations that we end up most grateful for arrived completely differently or later than we expected. So remember, you are exactly who you are supposed to be and exactly where you are supposed to be. And your amazing dream, it's right around the corner.
Thanks for listening to the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast with Lisa Kessler. If you have questions or comments, or if you'd like to work with Lisa to manifest your dreams, you can connect with her through her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net. That's also where you can claim your free weekly tarot reading and manifesting tips. Make sure you subscribe or follow the Metaphysical Manifesting Podcast on your favorite podcasting site so you never miss another episode. As Lisa likes to say, we can make magic when we bring the universe into the equation. Remember, you don't have to do it alone. If you'd like more information about Lisa, Metaphysical Manifestation Mentorship, or the Manifesting Magic Mastermind, visit her website at metaphysicalmanifesting.net.